I'll be right back. I told y'all them girls was not gonna give me no damn wrinkles. Yes, ma'am! We got to get into some things. Let's go get them. What's going on, Trin?
What's up?
So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is TRIN.T. My middle name is Taj. That's where I get the TRIN.T from. I just combine the names together.
Okay.
I started my channel back in 2014, filming the dolls. Really the dolls and the band, but everyone got it famous for the dolls.
Right. So, what made you actually start filming the dolls?
I actually started filming them on accident.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I went to the game that day, the fifth quarter, I didn't know you had to go down there early because it fills up with hella people. So I went down there late after the game ended and ended up standing on the ledge right in front of the dolls because there was no other room to record. But I was trying to get memories for myself because Southern Band was my dream at the time. So I ended up standing in front of the dolls and filming them just because they were right in front of me.
Right.
I didn't know who they were or anything like that.
So what made you like? What? I'm trying to see how I can ask this question. What is it about the dolls that you love, basically?
Well, knowing them in person, like they're very down to earth. They're all smart. You have to have a GPA to even dance. And they work very hard. They're in practice hours every single day, just like the band members. So they put in their time, and I feel like they deserve exposure for the work they put in.
That's true. That's true. What made you take filming seriously?
Whenever I started recording on my phone, people started commenting in the comment box underneath the videos, telling me to keep going. They would tell me I had good angles, so that was really motivating to keep filming. But at first, I was just doing it like just to have memories of the band and the games that I went to. Right. Because my phone, it only has 16 gigabytes of storage, so it would fill up pretty quick. It was an iPhone 6, so it would fill up pretty quick basically after every game, and that's why I just started taking it serious.
Okay. How was it switching from being in the band to actually recording? Like, what made you want to do that?
Well, I had been recording like since high school. Really, I started with McKinley. That's where I went to. That's where I graduated from. So I started in high school and just branched out to LLI, which was the all-star band I marched for, and Southern, which was the band I wanted to march for when I graduated. So, what was the question?
What made you switch from being in the band to actually recording?
Yeah, I never switched. I always recorded like all throughout the years that I marched in the band. So it wasn't that hard. It just gave me more time to focus on the camera without band practice.
Okay. Throughout all of your years of you recording, like, what was the most challenging for you? Like, what did you have to, learn basically?
Oh, I had to learn everything from scratch. I didn't know anything about my camera. I didn't know anything about filming bands. You have to have proper mic placement. You have to have credentials to even get on the field, and they don't approve like freelance videographers because they're not as important as like news channels, actual reporters that's documenting the game. We're not as important. We're just random people with cameras to them, so they don't want to approve us for the games. So I had to learn workarounds to getting on the field, getting the right angles, recording the bands properly in the best light with the right equipment. I had to learn how to work my camera itself as far as setting the exposure, the aperture, the shutter speed, all of that I had to learn on my own. But
That's
I did make mistakes.
Yeah.
I did make hella mistakes at first that I didn't even realize. Because in the camera, it's automatically set to automatic mode. So you have to set everything to manual and input everything yourself every time you film. So mine was just in automatic everywhere I went. Yeah. And the wrong move every time.
That's very important. People don't realize how important that is. That's very important. For you, what is most important for you, or what do you like the most? Filming? Do you like post production, pre production, or do you like everything altogether?
I do like everything, mainly because I was in the band, so I'm a band head.
Mm-hmm.
Filming bands and seeing the battles live while they're happening, it's exciting to see what goes on in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm filming, I think about what I'm going to be editing based off the shots that I'm getting.
Right.
So it's already in my head by the time I get to the post production, and then seeing the final product, that's a good feeling too.
Yeah, I love the final product. I love doing the final product because you just get to see everything pretty much.
Right.
Like your vision just pops out. So, what was your feeling when you actually got your first million views on Can You Stand the Rain?
That was an exciting moment. That was very motivational for me because I never expected a million views on an iPhone 6 video that I didn't even take serious at the time. I was in high school just filming for fun. So to see that blow up, I can only imagine what, if I actually actually took it serious, what I could get out of YouTube from that.
Yeah, because you went fast. You went real fast. So outside of the dolls, what other teams intrigue you the most?
Well, to start off, it was the Stingettes because that was my second team, like getting familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Dolls was always my number one because that's all I knew. That's all I saw. I practiced every day, and my friends were actual dolls. So that's what I was exposed to first and foremost.
Yeah.
Then whenever I did the Forever Sensational Dance Clinic,
Mm-hmm.
that's whenever I got to meet Stingettes for the first time and see their styles up close, doing behind the scenes shootings. So they would have to be my number two. And then in 2018, when I went to the HBCU Dance Affair, that's whenever I got exposed to J Sets and Golden Girls for the first time.
Okay.
So I had never seen them either.
Do you feel like the HBCU Dance Affair helped you like venture out?
Oh, definitely. Because Mississippi in itself, it has Alcorn and Jackson State, and that's right next door to Louisiana. So that's my closest two colleges that I could go to film. The Stingettes is kind of far. That's 5.5 hours from me.
Yeah.
So whenever I first ventured out to record other colleges, it was Jackson State and Alcorn back in 2018. I was still marching. So I just took the 2 weekends that we had off from the band, and that's whenever I went. That was my first time.
Okay. Did you feel like the HBCU Dance Affair was a great opportunity?
It was. It gave a chance for young girls to learn from the colleges firsthand. And that's something that the girls that was teaching the camps themselves, they didn't have that growing up.
Right.
So it also gave more exposure. Like even myself, I got exposed to different teams that I never would have seen in person.
Mm-hmm.
So to have that in your city and for girls and guys to go to and see the teams firsthand, it gave them a lot of different options to choose from whenever they went to college.
Yeah, that's true. When you were filming, like, did you have any standouts, or like, did you have anybody, like, any team that really stuck out to you?
Besides the dolls, it would be all four: the Stingettes, J-Sets, and the Golden Girls. They all had their own moments and wow factors about them that made them unique.
That's true. That's true, because every city was something different, and they all gave something different. So I really love that. What made you start filming the Pantherettes, actually?
Well, I had been recording them off my phone. Like I started back in 2014. I was still marching and everything, so I still have videos on my channel from way back when. But once I actually got a camera, I started coming back after I graduated and just filming them continuously. And over time, it grew to where they have their own fan base now.
Yes. So
I post specifically for the people that subscribe to me to watch them, because I'm giving them content as well.
So what happened with I know you made a post one time about the tryouts that you had deleted. Like, what happened with that?
Okay, so let me start off by saying, for the tryouts, every girl that tries out, they get informed that they're going to be recorded before they come to the tryout. And there's also 2 clinics where they teach you everything that you will be going over at tryouts. Mm-hmm. So they have a feel for how it's going to go down.
Right.
But because that we didn't get them to sign a contract physically saying that they wanted to be posted on YouTube, we just went off word of mouth and agreement.
Right.
The principal actually pays me to go record the tryouts and post them. So he's down for everything. But being that some of the girls were humiliated in the tryout video, their parents went to the school board and complained. And things were said that I was making money off of their humiliation. But I don't make money off from YouTube.
Right.
I just get paid that one amount to go cover the tryouts by the school board. So they took it to the school board, and instead of just having all chaos go down, I just deleted it to save space, basically.
I get you. I understand.
But next year, we're definitely going to have them sign contracts so this doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
And I'll try to disable the comments because some of them are just ruthless.
They rude. They are crazy in these comments. What made you start doing the collab videos? It was really smart to do the collab videos too, because we're in off season and everything's happening.
So the first idea that I got for collab videos was whenever I did Danielle and Brianni's collab. Mm-hmm. It was originally going to be Danielle by herself, but I got this idea, hey, let's do it with Brianni instead. So putting them 2 together, they have chemistry already because Brianni, they went to the same school and she was the coach. Putting them together, they had chemistry and you could see the differences in the style side by side. Mm-hmm. And whenever I saw the final product and how well it was doing, like, people were commenting saying that this is what they were waiting for and this is what they wanted to see. So getting the feedback, I was like, why not take that and expand on it? Because the Dolls and Stingers aren't the only 2 teams that can be put side by side. There's unlimited possibilities. So that's where I got the idea from.
Okay, so when you do the collaborations, do you let them pick the songs?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
We have group messages. I try to separate everyone by the collab. Mm-hmm. So it'll be about 2 or 3 of us with me in each every group. Mm-hmm. And they'll send song suggestions there and pick themselves.
Okay. How do you pick the venues? Because those are some nice venues. I love those venues.
I'm not going to lie. Some of the girls do send suggestions, and sometimes we roll with that. Because if, say, for instance, we film Jada and Jordan in Mobile. Right. They're already familiar with the city. I'm not, because I'm not from there. So Jada is the one that suggested we go to Municipal Park. That's where we filmed that. So we went there, and the venue had a pavilion. It looked amazing on video. Mm-hmm. And that was her suggestion. But other times, whenever we don't have any, I'll just drive around, see what looks nice, and drop the location, come here.
Okay. How did you feel when Beyonce's team reached out to you and used your footage in the Beachella film?
Well, first and foremost, whenever I first got the DM, it was from the entertainment company asking me to sign a release form. It didn't feel real in that moment because it wasn't Beyonce herself messaging. Right. So I kind of just messed it back. I gave them my email, and they sent me an email with the YouTube links that they wanted to use and asked for my full name, my email, my phone number. So they also asked for Kayla Pittman's contact too. So I DM'd Kayla, just seeing if it was okay with me sending her information out. So she asked if they were legit. I sent her all the screenshots of everything they sent me, and we kind of just went from there. We didn't know if it was 100%, but we still gave the consent for them to use it. And then about 5 months later, I just woke up to hundreds of DMs and messages of people sending my video in Beyonce's movie. So that's whenever I felt ecstatic. I was very excited for that, but it wasn't hard, like, keeping it a secret. I didn't tell anyone but Kayla herself.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, was it hard keeping it a secret? Because you know how Beyonce is. She like things keeping it a secret. You got to be quiet. Right. So, what do you like filming more? Do you like filming stands? Do you like filming, your individual collab videos more, or do you like filming the field shows? Like, what do you like to film?
Well, I would say collab videos because it's directly in person. I get to see them face to face and direct what's going to happen.
Right.
I can control anything that's going on in the shoot to make it look how I want.
Right.
The football game, I'm just kind of living in the moment. You record whatever happens in that moment. And they do have restrictions on where you can stand, and getting on the field, you need media passes. So I'm really limited every single game that I go to, and it's really uncontrollable. So I would definitely say collab series.
Okay. Yeah, because you do well. You do good on anything, but the collab videos, you put your stamp on it. What made you start filming for the DD4L basically?
DD4L, that's back to high school too. Mm-hmm. Whenever I first saw them in person, it was the day after the Boombox Classic. We had went out to Jackson, me and my parents, just to watch the game, Southern versus Jackson. And the next day they had a competition, and we stayed in the hotel that night, woke up, went to the competition to see them for the first time. I videoed everything on my iPhone again, posted it to YouTube, and it just blew it from there. All of this was accidental, just for memories, but over time, I started filming them more and more. Like in 2016, they had a Battle of the Bands with Mob, which is also an all-star band from Jackson.
Right.
They battled Valley. Me and my craft siblings went out there. I filmed that, posted it. Then in 2017, they came to Lafayette and did a live taping of the show. I filmed that, and then by 2018, Miss D herself had requested me to go to her event, Buck or Die. Right. It was in Chicago, so I got flown out there to cover that whole event, and that was my first time working with her and covering DD4L in person, really, behind it and all.
Was there any time that you felt like you wanted to just quit everything?
As far as quitting filming, no, I don't think I'll ever stop filming, but there has been times where my spirit has been ruined, or I felt depressed from an event if things didn't go like how I expected it to.
Right.
So then, yeah. But no, I don't think I'll ever stop filming.
What keeps you motivated?
Seeing the final product for one, and seeing the impact I have on everyone that's watching and their feedback is really what keeps me going.
Yeah.
So I would say that.
Because you can have good and bad comments, and the good always outweigh the bad. So I get you.
Yeah, it's always one.
Yeah, it's always that one. What type of equipment do you use? Like specifically, what camera do you use?
My camera is the Sony A7 III. My gimbal is the DJI Ronin S.
Okay. And I know they're expensive. I know they're expensive.
Yeah.
Someone asked, what makes you different from other channels?
I think that everyone is different in their own way.
Yeah.
But me personally, I think me being a perfectionist sets me apart from everyone else, because I have to watch over my footage many times before I post it. Yeah. If I post it and I see something I didn't catch the first time, I'm deleting it, and I'm going to redo it, and then I'm going to re-upload it. If I mess up my title, I'm going to go edit it. Like, I want everything perfect.
Dedication.
And I want to post non-stop year-round as much as possible. That's my goal, really, to post as much content as I can. Yeah. I don't see too many videographers working like non-stop year-round. Yeah. They kind of pick and choose. So that would really set me apart.
Okay. Can you give the people an estimate on how much you spend through a season? Because it's expensive.
Estimates.
They don't understand how expensive it is.
I haven't actually calculated what I spend each year, but it would definitely be in the thousands. My camera itself was $2,200. I got two of them, so really $4,400.
Right.
The gimbal, I have two different gimbals. One was $1,000, one was $700. So $4,400 plus $1,700. And add my laptop. At first, I started with a MacBook Air, and I couldn't edit my 4K footage because the processor, the RAM, the memory, it wasn't enough to handle all that. So I had to upgrade my laptop. That was $3,300.
Yeah. It's expensive, man.
That's not even including the travel and the lodging and all that for each game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What was your feeling when you got your first 100,000 subscribers? Because nobody's done it yet, except you.
Well, it was really motivational and inspiring to myself just to keep going, because I never expected my channel to get that far. And at first, it was going really slow. I want to say January 2018, I had about 15,000 subscribers. Then by 2019, I was at 100,000. So it really jumped because I started back in 2014. So 4 years later, I only had 15K. Right. Then a year later, I gained over 50K. So it was a huge jump. Yeah. Based off me filming the entire year.
Yeah. What was another moment other than Can You Stand the Rain that really made you say, like, wow, like, I'm really doing this?
Well, it was really multiple moments, but I'm going to just say two. McKinley was definitely the first one whenever I filmed them marching in Homecoming 2018.
Yeah.
That was actually my first time going to a march-in because they march in on Friday nights. We still have band practice at Southern on Fridays. So 9 times out of 10, whenever they marched in the game, I was still in practice or just getting out of practice. I didn't make it in time. But one of the practices ended early, and I actually made it for myself to catch them marching in. I didn't know what was finna happen. I was just kind of winging it in that moment. And fast forward to now, it has over 2 million views. So that was really a memorable moment for me because I didn't know what was going on. I kind of just went there and started filming them.
Right.
And then another moment was with Atlanta Dancing Dolls. They had recently had tryouts, so the team had basically doubled in size. They were already pretty big. They fit all the girls on the floor at once. So for them to add new girls in, it was chaos. Yeah. Whenever I seen it in person, I didn't know what was going to happen. The show started off the same as the show they had previously done. Right. But once it got on towards like 5 minutes into the show, they started doing something I had never seen because they added new stuff inside of it. They completely killed it. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't sure where to go for like angles. I was kind of winging it in that moment. And the show went on over 20 minutes and they never lost stamina. The crowd loud. Everyone was just stopped in their place filming, paying attention to them. That was something I've never seen before because I really wasn't exposed to major competitions growing up. So that was a memorable moment for me.
Do you have like other people helping you when you're filming? Like, do you have like a team?
Consistently, no.
Okay.
But occasionally, yes. Some of my friends, they're interested in filming as well. Being that I have multiple cameras, if they're with me during the time, I'll give them a camera. Or say, for instance, whenever I was marching for Southern, I would give them a camera and tell them, hey, film this. Right. Or stand here and get this shot. Like, I would tell them what to do. But as far as consistently going me everywhere, being my team members, no, I don't have a team. It's mainly being by myself.
Now, is it hard not having a team sometimes, though?
Definitely, especially if you're trying to get multiple angles like I do sometimes. If it's just all hopeless, like I'll definitely stand in one spot and get that one angle. But I want to try to get multiple angles, so if I do have help, I'll give them another camera.
Yeah. What was your favorite year to film?
I would say 2018, because that's whenever I first started taking off. That's whenever I did my first video series with Danielle. That's whenever I got my logo. This one, the official one. The one before this I made online. It was just kind of thrown together. Yeah. I don't take it serious at all, but it was something to brand myself with. This one I actually paid a graphic designer to make. His name is Jimmy. He owns the Creationeers company. So if you need logos made, go to him. But that's the year I first got my logo. That's the year I first got 4K quality. I was shooting in 1080. kind of just doubled my pixels and made everything more lifelike and clear. It made me want to film more.
Right.
So definitely 2018.
So what game do you look forward to the most?
I would say 2 games, Boombox Classic and Bayou Classic.
Yeah.
They're just as hype, but it's 2 different rivalries.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the games everyone looks forward to. Being a Juke and being a Southern alumni, that's probably the 2 hottest games you're going to experience.
That's true, because those 2 games be packed. They really be packed.
Yeah.
How long does it typically take you to like edit and export everything? Like, how long does it typically take?
It depends on the type of video I filmed. If it's like a football game, I edit each song separately most of the time. So it could take 2 to 3 days after the game has ended for me to post everything from that game. But if I just did like a full highlight, it wouldn't take that long. For the Collab series, each video takes me like about an hour.
Yeah.
Then I'll just perfect and clean everything after that hour. But usually within an hour, I can finish an entire Collab video. So, yeah.
Okay. What is it like for, your team of videographers each week? Like, how do you prepare?
First, I have to decide which game I'm going to. At first, I was only choosing the top 4, like Southern, Alabama State, Jackson State, Alcorn. But I did want to venture out. Last season, I went to Prairie View. And I went to Alabama State game for the first time. But those were mainly my top picks.
Okay.
So week to week, I have to pick the game I'm going to. I have to pick who's going to come with me, or I go by myself. I have to make sure I have all my equipment, my batteries charged, my memory cards free, everything, because I can't get out there and just be stuck.
Right.
So
that's true.
I have to make sure everything's planned from travel and lodging, make sure my car's running good.
Okay. So, like, after you film everything and you post it on YouTube, like, do you ever go back and read the comments to, like, monitor, or, like, what do you do?
Oh, yeah. I get every comment as a notification to my phone, like, in real time. So I'll see everything as it's commented. But if I'm busy, I'm not going to respond. But over time, I'll go back and read everything. And if it's inappropriate, I do delete comments. But it has to be very inappropriate. Or if it's misleading, then I'll just kind of comment back and kind of get some insight on what's really going on.
Right.
But it would have to be extremely misleading for me to comment back.
Yeah. Them people in the comments, they love to play. They love to play.
Right. And if you're talking about someone that I know personally and I know they're not going to comment back, I'll comment back for them.
Right. What was your inspiration behind all of your hoodies? Everybody's trying to get one.
Really, the inspiration to make hoodies was to brand myself whenever I went out to different games or different events to record, so people could know who I am. Just going there with regular clothes, nothing identifying yourself, they might not recognize you off the bat. Right. Some people only watch your videos and see the logo in the bottom right corner. They don't know your face. So that also could help with you getting in an event. That could help with people staying out of your way or acknowledging you whenever they see you. So at first, it was really just for me to brand myself as a record, but then I started making it available for all my supporters to get as well.
Right. Everybody want a hoodie. I got mine. I got to get me another one because it's blended in. What is some advice that you could give to younger videographers that is that actually wants to record dance teams or anything pretty much?
My advice would be, don't make the same mistake that I did. Whenever I first wanted to record more, I still had my phone. I wasn't taken seriously. I didn't understand all the ropes. I just kind of went in there copying what I saw on YouTube or what I saw other videographers doing, because whenever I first started recording, I started filming with Showtime Web. He reached out to me. That's back whenever YouTube still had DMs. I still got a DM from Showtime Web to record as his second cameraman. So that's where I got all my first-hand experience from. Just seeing him, how he got to events early, to set up like camera placements. We would have different angles going on. He uses a different type of camera though. So I didn't really learn how to work my camera. I was just seeing the basics, basically. So once I got started on my own, I didn't know how to set my camera exposure up. I was getting horrible shots, horrible angles. But over time, you learn. I just want to say, learn all that beforehand, before you try to go to an actual game. Start small. Start with basic projects that you could do on your own, or start with your high school like I did, and work your way up. Don't just come to Southern and start trying to record and you have no experience.
And you know, you are really right, because that's how I started. I started recording my high school, and it worked. It really worked.
You get extra practice and you have more time, because they're right there. You could just go there and film at any time. That's how I am with McKinley. But for Southern, it's way more restrictions. It's way more rules. You need a certain microphone to capture all that audio. You can't just use anything.
Okay. What's next for your channel? What do you wanna? Where do you want to take your channel?
Well, as long as the number's going up, I'm satisfied. Any growth from here on out is my goal. But what's next for my channel? I definitely have another season of the Collab series coming out, and possibly a season after that. But I'm still working on the second season right now. I am going to film more colleges, giving more exposure to more teams. So if you see a team that you've not seen on my channel before, don't go in on them. Just try to be open-minded and learn how as well. Because that's what I'm doing, right? I've never seen these teams before. I don't know any of them. I'm just working with what they're doing and meeting it for the first time as I go.
Yeah.
Because everyone deserves a spotlight. It's not. It shouldn't just be 4 teams over and over and over again.
Exactly.
But a lot of people have told me that I need to branch out. But it's hard to do that whenever you don't know anyone from that school. You don't know anything about that school. So yeah, you go with what you know at first and then work your way up.
Okay. That's all the questions that I have. I want to thank you. Do you have any questions for me?
I want to say thank you for having me. But I do have a question for you. What made you start reviewing teams?
Really, I just wanted something different. Like, I didn't think that anybody was going to be doing something like this. So I was just like, maybe I should do it. Like, I don't have nothing else to do. I already love dance teams, and I already, respect, all the HBCUs. But I just wanted to do something different. Like, everybody was just doing the same thing. Everybody was in group messages. Everybody was. It was too much. Honestly, it was too much. But other than that, yeah, that's really why I started. But I do want to say thank you so much, because you, Demeridge, who else? Smash Time, pretty much everybody. Like, y'all always on me. Y'all always make sure that I'm good. You've helped me. I've helped you. We've worked. Not work, but you know what I mean.
Support those that support you.
Exactly. But I want to thank you so much. Like, you've always been there. Thank you.
Anytime.
All right.
But I do have another question.
What's the question?
How did you find out about McKinley?
While I was recording, like, a lot of people was like, you need to look up McKinley. I'm like, who is McKinley? So I was just like, okay, I'll look at him. Because I'm thinking McKinley is more so like, the Miami GGs. I'm thinking they're more so like that. But when I'm looking, I'm like, well, damn, they totally different. And then when I did the video for my first video for McKinley, it was like literally a real reaction. Like, I had to put on a face mask. I'm like, oh no, they not gonna give me no reason, for real. They not.
We were crying, laughing at you.
Like,
it was me, Danielle, and Brianna watching you for the first time.
I love that video. I love that video because it was like a real reaction. Like, And people was just crying. I'm like, this is me for real. I'm not playing. I'm not playing like, but you know, it worked out. But thank you again. Do you have any other questions?
No, I just want to say keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. For real. Thank you.
Anytime.
All right.
All right.
Bye.